Hello. Amana here. Today's October 2nd. There's a new moon with a Solar South Node Eclipse in Libra today. Are you feeling it? I have been feeling the energy. Last night around 5 p.m., actually our power went out. So that brought an evening and night of extra darkness. I live up on a mountain, up a dirt road on 10 acres without, any artificial lights around. So it already is dark if we don't turn our outside lights on. But with today's new moon, it was extra dark with no lights. We had dinner by candlelight, but with the new moon there was also no moonlight last night, and it was okay. I actually decided to just embrace it and enjoyed getting to read from this book, Herbal Rituals by Judith Berger. I had my little reading light and read the part of the October chapter. So she has, her book is by months, which I love because each month I can return to that chapter and read about it. October is slowing, rooting, releasing. She's a woman that lived in New York, and she was in the Northern Hemisphere, so that's why this is geared toward Northern Hemisphere folk like myself. And I am going to draw a couple of cards from the Herbal Astrology Oracle here in a few moments, but I don't know, there was this little couple sentences here that really stuck out to me in the October chapter. And she writes, "The north winter wind and the cold which rides the back of the silence will bring voices. The voices of those we wish to remember, and the voices of all not yet born. But first, the speaker whispered its speech, slipping back to its silent source. First, you must be as these leaves. You must do what the leaves now do." And the voice was gone. I love how this season and Mother Nature just really shows us, I can feel the energy. Now I'm out here in a sweater as it's getting cooler. There are all these pine needles and pine cones here on the ground. We had a big windstorm here. That leaves, the plants are releasing, they're letting go, and it's also a season for us to let go and turn inward, release that which we don't need anymore, and hunker in and down. And I'm feeling that, and I'm excited to be embracing it this season. How is this new moon eclipse energy feeling to you today? Because my power went out, so sometimes I have podcasts recorded way ahead of time, like, several episodes, and I publish 2 episodes a month on the new and full moon. So sometimes I have months worth of podcasts saved up, and sometimes I don't. And yesterday I had a podcast interview with Emily Grace Nixon, also known as the Birth Advocate, on Instagram. And I knew that I would publish it today. And so, it's live now if you want to check it out. But because it's such a short time between when I recorded and when I published, of course, that meant I had to do that work yesterday. And luckily I had done a decent amount of it before the power went out, but it meant that this morning I sort of had to scramble to complete it and get it ready to publish. Because I wasn't able to complete that last night as I had anticipated once I tucked my little ones into bed. So I have really been leaning into and towards the darkness. I love how even each 24-hour cycle as humans here on this earth that is swirling through the cosmos around the sun, that in each 24-hour cycle we have this period of light, of sunlight, and this period of darkness. And of course that varies depending on where you are in the globe and the season. But right now where I am in the Pacific Northwest, we just passed the equinox, which was when our days were equal light and equal dark. And now we are moving into this time where we have more darkness than we do light. And for much of my growing up, or I feel like, you know, the world at large really celebrates and, what's the word I want to say here? Like values the daylight and the production and the doing and the time that we have with the light. And now we have like artificial light, so we could work into the night if we want to. But this season of greater darkness, like it's also a time to be honored and revered. It is so important, this rest, this inward, this slowness, the darkness, the quiet. So I wish that we honored that more as a society, and maybe that will be true in the future, but now it's a practice that I do in my own life and try to also encourage others to do that as well. So I'm curious to see what cards might appear here. I just like to I flow them through my hands here. In my mind's eye, I'm talking to Spirit, inviting the messages that are for you and for me, for those that are listening, whether you're listening now or months or years from now. May these messages land for you. Okay. The first card that I chose here is Calendula. I love calendula. It's one of those herbs that I started growing a few years ago when I was learning about its medicinal properties, and I love crafting salve out of it. And it's just such a generous plant. I did plant some when we first moved into this place, and it hasn't quite bloomed, but it looks like a few might bloom before the frost comes. But it's a very hardy and giving plant. In this image, I see, you know, this swing, the mountain. There's this little child. Not sure if it's a boy or a girl. There's this door. I love how it's so this is like a door in the base of a tree, like a tree house that has this portal door with light just shining out of it, even though of course inside you would think maybe that's dark, and that has me thinking about this darkness, and yet there's also light and the candlelight and this yellow color and this little bird here, and the stars in the sky. And I don't know if that's meant to be a sun or a moon or what, but I feel like this is a reminder that there's always light within, even when it's dark outside, or maybe everything in life feels like it's going in a way that you wouldn't choose, and yet that is the path, and you're having to deal with what is unfolding in your own life. But there's always a sliver of light, and if we can lean into that or open to that possibility. I know there's a saying about, you know, our hearts being broken, and that it's in those broken places that is where the light comes in. So maybe look for those unexpected places of light. Perhaps light a candle. If you've never done flame gazing before, it's such a beautiful and simple practice. I feel like it's magnified if you do it in the dark. Of course, you could do it in daylight or in the light as well with another light on. But if you just light a candle and take even just a couple of minutes to just watch that flame flicker and move and the way that one candle can light up a whole room. And see if you can soak some of that lightness, that brightness, that light into you, and envision that light permeating out of you. What would rays of light coming out of you be like? What would that feel like? Can you hear Gale, the wind? My kids and I like to refer to her as Gale. You can see her moving the branches. The leaves are turning. The wind chimes are chiming. Oh, this one flipped out. Poppy Dream. Oh, this is in alignment for me. I recently bought some skull cap because I've been wanting to invite more lucid dreaming into my world right now. It's something a practice that I did years ago, using skull cap to help me with that and as an ally, as a medicine. But here it shows 41, Poppy Dream. There's this cloth floating through the sky and these flowers, and then they're incredible like seed pods. It's so magnificent how they hold their seeds in this hardened case, and the waves here. So I'm feeling like there's this like daytime and nighttime, this brightness and darkness. How magical. So if you don't have a dream journal, or if you've never practiced lucid dreaming, I feel like this is a beautiful invitation to do that, to potentially, as you're falling asleep, imagine what you might dream of, or ask your spirit guides to help guide you in the dreamland. Dreams are so powerful. It can be used in so many ways, but maybe have a little notepad by your bed, and if you wake with an image or a remembrance of your dream, write that down and see how that might guide you in your life. Even when, so when my husband and I maybe are in a challenging time where it feels like we're colliding in the daytime, in our regular life, I will, as I'm getting ready for bed, invite our souls to commune in the dreamland. And I often wake up and feel like things are more resolved from that time that our souls spent in the dreamland together. So if that's not something you've tried with a loved one or a friend, I invite you to maybe see what that feels like. So beautiful new moon blessings to all of you. May you feel into the light. May you see lightness and brightness in new places. May you practice feeling what it is to be light and to be the light. And what might it look if you allowed yourself to shine a little brighter. I'm 41 now, I'll be 42 in November. In my younger years, I absolutely played small. I'm just, I feel like it's just in these 40s, I'm stepping into this different version of myself. We're always going through these rebirth processes, and I have heard the call from my spirit guides, my team, my ancestors to shine my light, to be bright, and to be seen. That's another one for me, to be seen. You got to show up to be seen. Tamara of the Wild Sky Sisters shared that reminder with me in a beautiful astrology reading I had with her a few months ago. So yes, I invite you to this, the brightness, and also to honor, remember, ritualize, and engage with your dreams. What are your dreams telling you? Where can you go in your dreams? What is possible within the dream realm? Another way that I love to be with my dreams is also with those that are no longer physically present. When I have dreams of those people that have died before me, they're just so potent and magic. So perhaps invite a loved one that is no longer in their earthly body and meat suit to meet you in your dream. I'll see you soon in about a week. Mwah.